hope I got that right.
The nude is still in the plane?
Julupuki. He's in Brazil. He's in the...
Yeah, I saw him flying. Like, where did he get the jacket from? I want the jacket. Is that the Atlas merch jacket? Do you have one as well?
Which one? Can you send the picture that
Yes,
you're referring to?
it was in Econ, I think, this morning when he posted it. He has a
Oh, I didn't
Atlas
see that.
jacket on.
Gross,
So I was
I'm not
wondering.
playing Warhammer, man. I am trying to fix my city still, bro. On Cities Skylines. Hey, NDR. GM. All right. Tom, did we post the last reminder? Just to make sure everyone gets in. Keplernet, GM, my friend.
I think that's
Good
a hoodie,
afternoon.
VB, by the way.
It's a hoodie, but
send
it
that
looks like a
picture again?
jacket.
I want to
Yeah, it
see
has
that.
well, no, it's a vest, like it has a zipper indeed in the front, but I don't think it's a jacket.
It is.
Maybe
Oh,
semantics.
okay, so he got an hoodie below and then a jacket on. It looks like a jacket to me. No, it's a jacket, man.
No, it's a hoodie, bro. We have that one.
It's a hoodie
A
slash
hoodie.
vest. I'm not sure if there's a term for that, but yeah.
No. What do you mean best?
Well, it has
No,
a zipper on the front. That's why it's
Oh.
yeah, like a
it's a
combination.
jacket,
Yeah,
right? With the zipper
maybe
in
it
the
can
front.
get called jacket. Maybe.
Because a hoodie is without the zipper,
Let me
right?
send the picture in the chat so people know what we're talking
Yeah, I'm not
about.
native, so I'm not sure if there's a term for
It
this.
just
I
send
just
me
call
the
it vest
jacket.
myself.
Don't send it to the people. Send me the jacket. You know that was my intention. Like, how do I get this jacket?
Yeah, I share a sentiment here, by the way. I need it as well.
It's a cool one, right? I'm actually
Yeah.
wearing that one right now.
Pics or it did not happen?
Nah, no way. I don't have the cell phone close to me.
Webcam.
Only PC. No. I can't actually. I can't have a cam. Here.
Yeah, it messes with the voice channel.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we can get started, guys. Planning for this brew to be a little relaxed or chill. Planning to get some feedback from you guys. Just overall talk about the state of this Atlas community and things that are going on and all that. So that's why we decided to do this on the Atlas Brew Lounge instead of the amphitheater, just so we can basically have a discussion here. Anyone is able to speak. You just need to set up push to talk, and yeah, you will be able to speak here basically. Unmute and set up the push to talk, and you can speak. But now I think we can get, as always, we have some noteworthy news, as we always do at the beginning. Things that we should highlight. Let me find the document that we use. First one is a sneak peek that dropped on X, which is the Oni CSS segment market. Dom, you probably have the link for that one.
I do. I
Finally
do.
partner with Star Citizen, Gracias says. I don't think we did.
Where the heck am I? There it is. Okay. So here's the link to that. But basically, this is the Sogmian market, and I really enjoy this actually because it goes from concept art to kind of like that beginning stage, that blockout stage. So you're kind of seeing it start to come to life there. So I enjoy it. Go check it out. Go check it out. The level design teams and the just everyone, the artists are really doing a lot of work on the Oni CSS right now, and it's looking damn good. It's looking damn good.
It's looking clean for sure. It's looking very clean. Looking better every day, man. Again, I am a big believer that real estate in Stratus is going to be big, and the Oni CSS more specifically, man. I need to be at the Punav district, the Punai neighborhood. But yeah. Looking good. Looking good. You guys can go check out that video now. Another thing pretty big is that Pips 1 and 2 passed. So Pips 1 and 2 have now passed, which means there's the Star Atlas DAO is approved. And now we have to vote for Pips 3 and 4. So people can go and vote right now for Pips 3 and 4. Friendly reminder to go do that right now. Very
And 3 and
important.
4, I believe. The third one is about the council.
Yes, it is.
And
And the fourth one is the ecosystem fund.
ecosystem fund. Yeah.
So
I
you
know
guys can
there's
go
definitely going to be a
now.
lot of conversation around the council one for sure. I'm looking forward to that one. That one's
Looking
gonna be
forward to that
interesting.
one as well. I know that a lot of people were trying to run for council or thinking of running for council. I don't know if people will be, if they will end up running, but it's interesting. Will be interesting to see who runs for the council. Well, first, if it's approved, of course. But yeah, those two are very, very important. Very, very important. And we have another noteworthy news, which is the Stratos Hackathon, the Navathon, officially named Navathon, is going to be launching today. We are going to be shipping the announcements today, but I think, Dom, we can probably already link the webpage just for the brew people.
Absolutely.
The Navathon from
Nabathon.
Navathon. So you can go check that out right now at navathon.stratus.com. I think we could stream it here, Dom, quickly, this page.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
So yeah, guys, it's pretty huge, honestly. If you were ever thinking of building anything on top of Star Atlas, this might be the perfect moment, perfect excuse. What do you mean Wi-Fi tracker? It's pretty self-explanatory.
Mate, what's with the name? We explain. I'm curious.
It's
Well, it's sponsored by Ogrica and a name inspired by Ogrica. We can give some lore here. I'm down. A
yeah.
name's inspired by Ogrica is Nabathon, and kind of like the inspiration from that is Punab's. How Punab and that kind of culture has two A's in their name. So that's where the two A's come from, for example. So it's an Ogrica slash Punab inspired thing.
Yep.
Gotcha. The Orica part I knew, but the yeah, okay, I get it.
Exactly. Punavathon. And Dom, if you can scroll down a little bit, you can see that it's running from today until September 7th. So on September 7th, you need to submit whatever you built. We have a Google form that it's right there when you click on submit, on the submit button. And there are prizes worth $50,000. Star Atlas will be providing $25,000 in ships VWAP value, while we will have partners that will be confirmed during these dates before the Navathon finishes. We have partners that are going to be adding more rewards that will end up being close to $50,000. $50,000 actually. And we have 6 different categories and 1 Best Overall Project Award. We have the Sage Award, so create an application that interacts with the Sage program. We have a Game Award, so create a game using the Atlas IP. Resources Award, create something that interacts with Stratus resources. Data Award, create the data dashboard basically for Star Atlas. DeFi Award, create an application that uses the Stratus tokens. And we have the Galactic Marketplace at the end, where you will have to create something that interacts with the Stratus Galactic Marketplace. And there are FAQs at the bottom if you guys have any questions One thing that it's important is that you guys will not be able to submit anything that was created before the Navathon date was announced. You can create something on top of what you had before. So, for example, AFIA wouldn't be able to submit the Flipside dashboard for the data category because they created it before today, basically. But if they add something really cool on top of the data dashboard that they added from now until September 7th, then they will be able to submit that and to compete in that. So, yeah. And I
So, quick
think Puck,
question, Santi.
yeah.
I guess just for clarification here, if there is something we have been working on before but is not officially released yet, how does that work?
So our intention is to only consider things that were started from today. That's the intention.
Yeah,
But
I
we
figured. Okay, yeah.
cannot really find out. I think I don't know if we can when you guys officially started, but you can tell a lot by the progress, of course.
No, we'll remove all the Cataclysm videos. You just forget about that, and then you'll hear about it tomorrow. I'm not joking,
Yeah.
joking.
I think, Puck, I answered your question. Retro submissions counted things already made. No, we're looking for new stuff. And you can form teams, and there are no limits on the team members, sizes, or anything like that. You can go for it with as many people as you want. You can monetize everything as long as it follows the build program guidelines, the IP program guidelines. And well, you can go to the page and check the FAQs. I think that answers probably most of the questions. And if there's a question that you don't see answered there, please let us know and we will add it to the FAQs segment. So yeah, guys, the Navathon is a thing, and it will be announced today to the wider ecosystem. Cool prizes.
Yeah, so if you know how to build,
Love it.
you better get building. Get building.
Yeah.
Get building.
Yep. And the winner will be announced during this Atlas Summit as well. So, yep.
Hell yeah.
We
I'm
can
excited.
continue. Yeah, I'm super excited to see the submissions. Moving on, some noteworthy news from the community. I think two very important groups in Star Atlas reached the 3-year anniversary. First, AFIA, they had the 3rd-year anniversary, so congratulations, AFIA. 3 years is
Thank
quite
you, thank
huge.
you.
That's quite
That's
huge.
insane. Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
also the Metaverse Nomads as well. So congratulations to the Metaverse Nomads for the 3 years as well. Shows every single Sunday. They don't miss a single one. And of course, it's always good to share their YouTube channel, Dom, if we can, so people can go and check out their show.
Gonna 1 second.
I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah. Sending the link there in the chat, guys. Make sure to go and subscribe to them. They create great content. Great to stay up to date on Star Atlas and listen to unbiased opinions also from themselves. They really know what they're talking about. So
Yeah,
make sure to
genuinely
go
a
and
huge
subscribe.
congratulations. Like you just said, Santi, to not only Afia to Metaverse Nomads. You guys are both pioneers in the community. You guys bring a lot of value to everyone in the ecosystem. It's truly for everyone with the entertainment that the Metaverse Nomads provide, with the tooling that Afia provides. Seriously, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys being part of the community. It means a ton.
Yeah. Yep. Huge. Hopefully we can get you guys for some more years. Let's see that 5th, 10th anniversary. Looking forward to that.
We'll make it happen, mate. We'll make it happen.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I think we can get on the main topic for today, which is the state of the community. And you may wonder, what does the state of the community mean? Well, honestly, we just want to get out here with you guys, and we have been doing the brews lately on the amphitheater, and we wanted to have a brew that kind of goes back in time, where it's here, it's open mic, it's more casual, relaxed, and we get on certain feedback topics that we want to chat about with you, things that we could be things that are going well for Star Atlas, things that are not going that well, things where you guys feel like we should get better at, just like an honest, open conversation with the community out here, um, and listen to feedback and thoughts from everyone, basically. I don't know, Dom, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I'm super excited for these kind of events. Actually, I'm super proud to say that I feel like we genuinely want your guys' voice to be heard. We want you guys to say what you guys want to say, give the feedback you guys want to give. And this is kind of a part of our ongoing efforts to actually doing that. You guys genuinely have a voice. You guys have a say in how everything works for Star Atlas. It's everything. It's not just the game. It's not just Twitter. It's not just whatever it is. It's everything. Everything Star Atlas. You guys have a massive voice in it, and you guys are astronomically important to the Star Atlas vision. So I'm excited to hear from you guys. Remember that your guys' voice is heard, and we'll be taking notes down on everything you guys say. I already have Pock the Pirates feedback on the DAO, for example, and we're going to be doing a roundup of as much feedback as we possibly can. And I think the state of the community is a good idea for that reason alone, because we can get feedback for everything at once. You guys can also, some people might be feeling like frustrated with certain things. I'm just being brutally honest here. Some of you might be feeling frustrated with certain things, and actually talking about that and giving your thoughts and experience on those things. Not only will it help us, but it can help you as well. So just remember, we're all in this together, and give the feedback you want to give. If you have feedback, don't be afraid to say it. And if you think something's going well, likewise, don't be afraid to say it.
Yeah, and this idea was basically born from a tweet that Michael made. I think it was last week. He tweeted, "What's the thing you love the Atlas?" And he said, "You have to answer both." So I think we can start by going through some of these replies, Tom. Maybe we can stream it.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And go through some of the replies. I already see some comments in the chat. I see Arthur saying, "I love you. I love all of you guys. My main frustration right now is not just the delay of crew packs, but the teasing that packs are coming soon. Maybe not your fault, but I'd rather not say anything about timeline." Yeah. No, I mean, I think this is a thing that has been kind of ongoing forever, where things move really fast also internally, and things change sometimes by the hour or by the minute, and plans for us also change at the same time. But honestly, like, the intention from our end is definitely not to be like just out here teasing and all that, but we're genuinely excited about things, and we genuinely also want things to go out. And sometimes it's also difficult for us to stay kind of level headed and not share the excitement. I mean, when I'm excited about something, the first thing I want to do is tell people about it, right? And when we have a community of people that have the same passion as us for this, it's kind of like, "Oh, guys, I'm super excited about crew packs. They're coming very soon." Like, you just go and say it, like, it's not intentional. It's just human nature, I think.
Just some context for crew packs specifically. Like, everything that we've released for crew packs was with the intention of releasing it genuinely soon. The whole, like, I'm just, like I said, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It is, we kind of tested the experience of crew packs, and when it was just the mud characters. Like I think we announced this like a year ago that it was just going to be
Yeah.
mud characters at first, and we started testing that, and we were like, man, this kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. And at that point, you have to make a decision. Okay, so we've done all these kind of announcements. We talked about this. Um, we have this feedback, and we gave the feedback, and now we're no longer just doing mud characters. We're doing Oni, Ooster, and I'm not trying to overhype or anything like that, but the work that they have done for these characters now, really, really, really putting a finished product out there. Crew cards, crew packs feel like a finished product now, which is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. It's worth the delay. It absolutely is worth the delay. So I want to give you guys that kind of background context. But I still do understand, like, being told, like, oh, yeah, crew packs are coming, and we have this kind of teaser trailer. This was back at Solana Crossroads. And then we have the pre-sale. And it feels like, oh, it's coming right now. It's so close. It's so close. And then we get to the town hall, and then we have another teaser. Everyone probably thinks it's coming at the town hall, and then we have another teaser. I totally understand where you guys are coming from. I also just want you guys to understand where we're coming from. We don't want to make you guys upset. We don't want to overhype you. We just want to market something correctly. And at that moment, we were marketing something correctly. We were talking about it correctly. It just a delay happened, and then it feels really, really, really bad. But the delay was worth it. I assure you, delay was worth it. But I also understand where Earther you're coming from. You don't want to feel like you're being overhyped. And I could totally see that. We called the town hall the biggest town hall that we've ever had. We didn't have that crew packs date. I totally get where you're coming from. I personally still think it was one of the bigger ones, probably the biggest in my mind. But I do get it. I do get it. The whole like overhyping thing. Just know it wasn't our intention. That's all I wanted to say. Is it really was not our intention.
Yeah.
But I mean
I think
that's development. What's up, Ronald?
Yeah.
If I can quickly interject or comment on that. I think there's sometimes a bit of a disconnect, and I completely get where that is coming from. You guys are up to speed on basically everything that is happening, and you are very much aware, or at least more than we are, that some things are taking longer or are going to take a certain time. So from your perspective, when you then hear some great news like, oh wow, this one thing is going to be sooner rather than later, and oh wow, check this new trailer that we're now being shown, and all that stuff, for you personally, it's definitely exciting, and it of course makes you super enthusiastic. But for us, who of course this is like a black box. I mean, it's not a black box. You guys are transparent. You share a lot, but who don't know these details, who don't know the exact ETAs, so that of course makes it highly volatile in people's mind. Like it can be tomorrow, it can be next year. There will be people believing both, depending on who you ask. We are, in that sense, I guess, or I say we. I mean, I still got enthusiastic of the last town hall. And again, I really get all that stuff, but I feel people are, of course, waiting and a bit more feet on the ground and thinking, okay, we're a few years in. This is going to be the best town hall. What can that mean? Well, there has to be a release of some kind. And probably something they were looking forward to. And of course, the fun thing is, with the DAO being so downplayed, I mean, for a while, basically ignored and then downplayed. Yeah, perhaps we'll start in Q3. And of course, there were some people asking about that. But actually, funnily enough, that was not, even though there was the big news kept for last, that didn't actually, was not really perceived as the biggest news by many who were kind of just not, it was either not on their radar or they didn't really care that much about it at this point in time anyway, despite, of course, some commenters perhaps putting you guys on the wrong foot, and it's making it seem like this was a highly anticipated feature people wanted tomorrow, if not today. But yeah, I completely see where this is coming from. I don't necessarily blame you guys. It's also very difficult to manage that. Again, you can't really. I mean, it would be best, of course, if you could, prior to potentially hyping anything, double check with the community, but you can't, because again, they don't have the information. You can't give them all the information that they would need to properly assess if that hype would make sense or would resonate in the community or would not. So yeah, I get where it's coming from, and again, I don't blame you guys, but yeah, it's a difficult. Um, um, yeah, I guess the whole it's just a difficult process to figure out for you guys if it is reasonable to hype something or perhaps less reasonable, or if it may shoot yourselves in the foot or may lead to some pushback from the community. It's difficult, but yeah, it's not an easy job.
Yeah,
Appreciate it,
it's
man.
just
Good feedback.
yeah, I appreciate the feedback. And like from our end, it's like a constant thing that you have to play with so many moving pieces, right? Because you have to market it right and you have to get people excited as well. I mean, you don't have to, but it's something to get excited about. And at the same time, there are many moving pieces internally, externally, everywhere. And yeah, it's part of basically building so in public, right? And sharing things as soon as we have them as well, right? So yeah, it's I think we got better at it lately, but the probably not having the date of the crew packs during the town hall was a disappointment for many. Probably no, 100%. And we were aware of it, that was going to happen, but at the same time, again, as Tom said, I still think it was one of the biggest town hall ever, if not the biggest one. Like, so much progress overall on all product pipelines. But yeah, people were expecting the date on that town hall. We are very well aware of that.
And I'll make one last comment, not to sound like an excuse, but the way that we release things as well also does not help with these efforts. So like when we're developing something and we're ready to release something, it's basically almost immediately. Something is ready, then we're releasing it and we're sending it to you guys. Michael's talked about this extensively in a bunch of interviews, basically just saying like, yeah, when we have an update ready, when we have a product ready, like a minimum viable product, and it's ready, we're gonna release it to the community, and that comes with its drawbacks for sure, and the potential for overhyping something is probably one of those drawbacks, like the crew packs, for example. We get to a point where we're kind of starting to hype it up, and then we start testing the experience, and we're like, oh, maybe just mud characters doesn't feel as good, it doesn't feel as good. We provide that feedback, we got a delay, that feels bad for everyone involved, but it's a consequence of how we release things. Now, there's a whole lot of pros to how we release things too, but that, I'm just saying, that is one of those cons of how we release things. Like I said, just being honest with you guys,
Yeah.
that's just how it is. We're not like, moral of the story is, we're not sitting here like we must delay, or we don't, we don't, we're delaying for market conditions or whatever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It genuinely is. We are operating with what we have at that point in time, and then we're testing things, and if things don't feel right, specifically with crew packs, we give the feedback. We have to make the changes. And crew packs, I'm telling you, only hypey thing I'll say, it just looks fucking fantastic with all the delays
Can
that
I?
it's
I want to chime in. Like group
Sure thing,
packs
bro.
all good and stuff, but what I don't get is like the best event we all had all year was like the search event, and like I don't get why we can't have like things like that in UE5, or at least some Sealy quests, or like we got nothing, I want
Yeah.
like we need the small people, they can't really play Sage at the moment, but there's nothing like we should have like a weekend event on UE5 or whatever, or racing event, something, we need more. Like now you plan everything for Breakpoint and have the tournament there, but like 99% of the people here, we can't go there. Like, okay, maybe we can watch it, but like we need things to do, like, every week, like some little thing to do. Like Like, people even happy about code for Sealy, and we not even have this, So like we need more stuff, like otherwise it's too boring, to wait. And I mean,
Okay, this is
we had
feedback that
it,
I've heard. This is feedback I've heard from a few different people. Why doesn't Star Atlas hold more surge kind of tests? Why? It seemed to go so
I mean,
well.
we have the
People
test,
loved it.
it's
Why
already there. We
why
already
why
played
don't
it.
we do it? Why don't we do it?
Yeah.
It's a good question, and the most honest answer I can possibly give you guys is those tests cost money and resources. It's not like a simple like we just turn it on and it's good to go. There's the Metagravity team is working on other things besides Surge. They're working on Project Gallia, like making sure things replicate and all that kind of stuff. And the most important thing is obviously it costs money to have those tests up and online. Now, with that being said, Santi and myself, we've been in conversations with Metagravity to get some kind of cadence of playtests going for Surge leading up to Breakpoint. We're trying. No promises. Don't take that to the bank or anything like that. But we're in conversations to do that.
Yeah, another thing on that, and I think Domi briefly touched on it, is that also when you want to have a test, you need to have a build that is playable for the public, which that means that you need to pull resources from the UE5 team that is moving insanely fast. Like they push new internal builds probably on a daily basis. And you need to polish one of those and make it playable for external. You need to stop development in some sense to give that slow down development to give to create that other build that is accessible to the public as well. So again, like these are all the moving pieces you kind of have to work with, and I agree. I totally agree with BV and with people here. I think we all would love to have, like, even on a simple build, a ongoing weekly, bi-weekly search test or something going on.
It was the most fun I've had
And
at Star Atlas so far.
yeah.
Genuinely, it was. I'm with you guys. I want to play that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we replied to that one and people want to keep moving. At least I see in the chat. I saw a couple questions from Agent Solas. What is going on with Core? What is going on with Sealy? I think those two are a clear reflection of like the depth that it created to have so many layoffs before. And again, like we're having a completely blank. So when you have a team that at the moment, I think it was 15, 17 people in marketing as a whole, and it gets reduced to 4 people. And we've been open about this. It's been much running everything that is going on. You have to deprioritize some stuff to focus on keeping up with what's key that you keep moving forward, right? So that's kind of what happened, and kind of no, that's what happened. And Dom, myself, just say, Darwin, we had a lot more on our plates, which caused us to not really be able to pay attention as much as we were before to things like Sealy, for example. And Sealy is one thing, like Never Alone. I think it's a super cool campaign. I think it's super good. I think we need to close that very soon. And also we need to create a new one. I don't think Never Alone is something that needs to stop, but create it in a more simple way where you can be rewarded by just participating on community events or doing some specific things, but not going further than that. So it's something to manage from our end, and you guys have a clear rewards and expectations and ongoing things. So that's what we are going to be looking to solve. We just didn't have the time. One, because we need to focus on everything else, and second, because in order to close that and distribute everything, we need to pull engineering resources at the same time. So that's for Sealy. I hope that answers the question. We didn't forget about it. We are going to focus on closing Never Alone and doing it again in a way that makes more sense, that it's not like an overkill. So we're going to do that. And for core, team McBurney has been focusing on some other things right now. I don't think I can touch on, but those are some other things that are very important that I can't share right now, but believe me, they are very important for the company, and that's what caused team to focus on other stuff. Again, guys, I think given what we've been working on and when we lost the people and all that, the level of output that Star Atlas had with less people was the same or even more. Like Michael touched on this many times, like communications internally really improved a lot. And yeah, just overall, I feel like we're working better as a company. But yeah, you will see some things affected or that go a little bit slower or that we can't really prioritize, like core and like Never Alone, for example. But it's not like we forgot and we're abandoning them. They will be resumed in the future. And I think that was a very long-winded answer, but just wanted to make sure that we cover the questions out there.
Park, we see your question, by the way. We're going down like a list. I promise we're
Yeah.
not annoying you, bud.
Yeah, I think Michael said he can share.
No,
I just saw the comment.
no.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Steady, Michael. Keep
Okay.
it steady, bro.
In the interest of time, yeah, I'm down to keep moving. So Pac said,
Yeah.
I am incredibly frustrated that Breakpoint 2024 appears like it will be a slightly modified presentation of Breakpoint 2023 with another announcement of an announcement, 30 plus minutes of in-game previews, but still an announcement of an announcement. Maybe at best 50% generous of Breakpoint 2023 was followed through with, not sure if my comment will be addressed because of its accuracy. I've never wanted to be more wrong about anything ever. No, I listen, man. I get the frustrations. We talk about things. We say, hey, this is coming at this specific time or around this time. And then you're saying that it didn't come out at that time, and that can be frustrating. I listen, man, I totally get it. And that's just one of those things where it's a double-edged sword with how public and how transparent we are with our development and what we're building, what the roadmap is like. It genuinely is a double-edged sword. I'm working really hard to understand what you guys are thinking. I really want you guys to understand where I'm coming from here. When we, as a company, have to be flexible with kind of what we prioritize, sometimes things that we've talked about in the past have to switch because we determine something isn't working or this isn't working or that isn't working. And then we have to be like, okay, this isn't what we should prioritize right now. Let's switch to this instead because it will result in a better outcome, you know? So Breakpoint is one of those things where we talk about a lot of our current plans. And I actually think we're getting better at this, by the way. We really are getting better at this, where I think a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about at Breakpoint 2024 are part of our current plans, and I can see those plans really following through. So you should be happy with that. But I can see your frustration with Breakpoint 2023, for example. Like, I'll just point out like the crew pack stuff. I think we said in last Breakpoint, we said Q1. Totally get it. Like I said, I've already kind of talked about crew packs and how we tested the crew pack experience. It wasn't what we kind of wanted, and we're upgrading it because of that, and there's delays because of that. Like I said, that's one of those times where we have to be flexible. We have to be able to say, this experience is not where we want it to be. Let's make it better, so let's delay. And I know that sucks. You guys don't want those delays, but they do happen. And it's probably not going to be the last time. Actually, I can guarantee you it's not going to be the last time. But it's just one of those things that have to happen. I hope I addressed your feedback. If I didn't to your liking, please let me know. But thank you for your comment, Pac.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Also, another thing on Breakpoint and all that is that we also have to get external people excited about Star Atlas as well. I totally get the timelines and all that as well. But and it's also super tough for us to, in just 25 minutes, 20 minutes, explain everything that is going on, get people excited, and just get someone educated on Star Atlas in just that time frame, as well. Probably not related to what Puck specifically asked, but also for context on how we see things and all that. I think Michael does a good job at talking up there, and we usually cover a lot. But it's tough, man. We have a lot going on here.
Kind of confirmed it as an announcement, which does not get external people excited, showing a game they can't play. We're really, honestly, Breakpoint, a major part of Breakpoint is about showing the progress that we've made.
Yeah.
Like Star Atlas is a complete journey, dude. Like it's just full stop. It is a journey. It is going to take a while to develop and actually build out this game that we have this vision for. And we want to show you guys that progress. And Breakpoint is just how we kind of show you guys that progress. So of course we have the announcements, and I can see the frustration with when we announce a date and we actually don't, follow through with that date. But showing gameplay that people can't play, I don't really agree with this one. Maybe I'd like to hear other people's thoughts, but I would expect people to want to see where the progress for Star Atlas is at, especially at one of these big events. And I would also expect like hardcore community members to want us to show the kind of outside kind of lurkers watching only these big events. The lurkers who only see the big events, they only get updates from these big events. That's our time to update these people. Here's all the progress we've made, Now I can see where that would be like kind of frustrating. Like you see this progress being made. I want to play that, Like I see Project Gallia and I want to play the hell out of that, but I can't. So no, I get what you're saying. I don't fully agree with one specific part, but I do appreciate the feedback, Pac. I like I said, I'm enjoying the conversation. Thank you, everyone, for being here, having this with us.
Yeah. It's
I don't want to hijack your brew here. I am in Nashville
more
right
than
now.
welcome. More than
I had
welcome,
a
sir.
little,
What's up,
had a
Swag?
little extra time. What's up, guys? What's happening? How's everyone feeling today?
Feeling great.
Feeling good. We're just having a conversation.
Did we already make all the announcements we were going to make today? Did I miss those?
Yeah, the Pips live, the Nabathon, that has been announced.
Nice. Okay. And we announced all the stuff that all the things that are coming that Tim's working on.
Nope.
We did
No.
not.
No.
Look, I wanted to jump in. I haven't done a point by point comparison of what we announced or what we discussed at Breakpoint. Clock, I've seen you make similar comments in the Metaverse Nomads and in other places as well. We do recognize that. I think the guys here did a great job of describing really what our objective is to provide updates of what is in progress. I've attempted to be very conservative about sharing dates, even at events like Breakpoint, to some extent. And Dom commented on this. It's very much a double-edged sword for us. If people demand dates. I was on with Metaverse Explorer with Leon. I don't know if you guys all heard that interview with him, but what we presented historically was our target dates, which, as I said, was always our most ambitious and aggressive goal for getting a product released, and it was probably inappropriate for us to use those timelines. It was never with the intention of misleading you guys. It was with the intention of providing you some context of when we think we can get something done if we achieve all of our goals to perfection. And so we haven't necessarily hit those. But just going back to Breakpoint, I think we've actually delivered a lot of what we talked about at the last Breakpoint. If I were to go through, say, the like Sage, for example, the big announcement there was Sage 3D. And we did roll out Sage 3D in December of last year. Now, we kind of knew that it was largely going to be deprecated, but that did come out. We talked about the DAC platform. The DAC platform rolled out earlier this year. We've delivered on the Surge gameplay experience with Metagravity. We had a really successful stress test over 4 different weeks. Um, I think we continued to build on some of our 2.2. We have made the decision to transition away from that for some features that we think are just going to be more diverse, reach a wider audience, and just more immediately attractive to that user base. So, I, again, I haven't watched the Breakpoint presentation, so I don't know where we're lacking, but it feels to me like maybe you're upset that we're not focused on the 2.2 racing. But my opinion is that where we are going into Breakpoint of this year, the intention is to have a better product suite that reaches that wider audience. So, I don't know what specifically you're angry about, or what you feel like we missed, or you feel like we're lacking. The crew cards are coming. Sorry.
Appreciate you joining, by the way, Swag, with the comment.
Yeah. Man, and he's in the middle of talking with Donald Trump at
No, stop
Bitcoin
it,
Nashville.
bro.
And,
Oh my god.
and he
That's
came
hilarious.
here and talked to us.
Yo, make Star Atlas great again. Sorry, random random call coming through on Discord. But in any case, yeah, I don't know what you're specifically frustrated about, but our intention is not to make announcements of announcements. It is to give you updates of the progress that we're making and what our intentions are going forward, so that you guys are fully informed. We like to keep you involved in the process, and things do change. It is the nature of running an early stage, bleeding edge company like this, and we hope that you guys are really excited about what we have coming out in Breakpoint this year. And as
Yeah.
I noted on the town hall, we don't know if we're actually releasing anything at Breakpoint this year. We do hope to have releases shortly thereafter, and experiences and experimental modes that you can get into. And that's the goal. None of this is with the intention of misleading you all about where we're at, what the status is, and how we're being operated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually probably a problem of being aggressively transparent. Like I swear, we will hear something from our team, and we'll be like, okay, let's tell the community. We should probably we should probably wait a little bit.
It's kind of what we were talking about before at the beginning, where we get excited about things that we're building, and we like one of the first reactions is we want to share this with our guys, with the community, right? And again, that's a double-edged sword. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'll stand by it and say that at the same time, being like that is probably what made us able to build this community, because it's insanely transparent at all times, even through good times, through really hard times. After FTX, we literally came on stage. I think it was the day of the announcement, and just addressed everything. And last week, last town hall stage, and shared all the progress that we have been making. So if you look back like 1 year, 1.5, the fact that we are here and that we're making this much progress is pretty insane. Like we beat all the odds, to be honest. And I think I saw a comment from KeplerNet saying that things change and that things don't end up being finished like Sealy Core. We covered that at the beginning. Where some things, given the challenges that we faced, had to be deprioritized, and some other things, given the success, had to be prioritized. Like that's literally what happened, and I don't think I could give you a 10-minute answer, but I reached the same spot. Like we decided to prioritize search because of how much people liked it and enjoyed it, and we had to deprioritize things like core and Sealy because of other priorities, bigger things that need to be worked on from both the community team and Team McBurney. So that's the answer, honestly, to that one.
Yeah,
I don't know if we missed anything.
I actually saw a few things I did want to talk about. Iron Alien said internal and external deadlines only give a release date when it's done. This might be a leak, but recently I was listening. I was talking with Michael, and something that he said is he would like to get to a point. And correct me if I'm wrong, Michael. Maybe I'm saying something incorrect here, but he was saying something along the lines of we'd like to get to a point where we're sitting on a release and then we announce the date. And me personally, I cannot wait for that time period because, like you're saying, at that point, then we know exactly what we're dealing with, what exactly comes with this feature, what exactly it looks like, what exactly it feels like, what exactly it plays like, and we can make all of our kind of moves, communication wise, marketing wise, everything boom boom bap, and with that in mind. So that's something that I know from my conversations that is something like a plan in the future. But when we go through a bear market like we went through, FTX like we went through, these kind of hardships that we went through, we have to build fast and we have to get that out to you guys even faster. So I do understand for sure. It's we're kind of making that transition now. But I did want to like I said, just being completely honest with you guys, that is exactly kind of what happens there and kind of where we're headed.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I'm
quite. Yeah, Michael, go for it.
yeah, I will validate the comment. I mean, from a publicity standpoint, PR standpoint, I probably shouldn't say what I'm about to say, which is essentially we need to keep you guys occupied and entertained, and we don't necessarily have the foundation today with a set of gameplay loops and mechanics that keep you fully entertained, engaged, and enjoying the economy. We still have a lot to build. We're still working towards that. Once we get to that point where you have a game that is just addictive, that you want to go in and play every day and you want to spend hours in, then we have the luxury and the liberty of taking more time to build the next release. Right now, it's kind of like everything's a rush. We've got to get to the next point because we need to resolve a bunch of issues, a bunch of things that people are talking about with, say, the Sage economy. And we've already put feature releases on hold, as you know, to get Fleet Command out. So there's a lot of pressure then internally to get another release out because there's a lot of criticism or complaints out there, which are in many cases justifiable. I'm not disputing that. We understand that people are dissatisfied. Well, in order for us to get to the point where we can build something that is fully polished, we need to build a foundation where you are generally, or at least in the majority, satisfied with the product that's available and one that is able to grow. And so when we get to that point, then we can say, okay, our next release is actually going to be a year and it's going to be a breakpoint. And that's what everybody's excited about. And we know that we have that in the pocket because we actually finished it in April of, whatever the year may be. And all we're doing is polishing and QA and player testing and getting you guys in and maybe experimenting with that. But we're just not there. The state of the company is not there yet. So eventually, yes, we do want to have releases that are complete, that are in the back pocket, that we can roll out, that we have a definitive certain date on. We're just not there as a company yet.
Thanks, Swag. Appreciate that. I think I saw one more comment that I wanted to talk about. I can't find it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we missed a couple comments there.
Okay, consider us
yeah.
up to date right now. If you have another question, then put it there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and it's a conversation as well. Like, it doesn't need to be a question. Whatever you want to add to the conversation. Like, it's not like we're here to reply to questions, or I mean, yeah, we can reply to any questions that come in, but also looking to have like a conversation, very insanely blunt conversation. I would say it's pretty weird for a company to do what we're doing exactly right now. But I think it's also what makes this community interesting as well. So.
For sure. Okay, we have one from Groove. Another pain point. The state of the game economy and the state of Sage is frustrating. It feels like there's no real way to progress in a meaningful way. A lot of Sly's members have gone idle because it's just not exciting to play for 2 months and hopefully earn enough to expand your fleet by one airbike. So we're in a wait for something more engaging mode, but those that can afford to participate and meaningfully progress, simply widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots. It's a little like giving big wallets a significant head start on progress. I've seen this feedback from a few people as well. I can see where the frustration comes from. My gut reaction, like I said, being honest, this feels like a byproduct of us being so early. Like we're building this kind of this product out, and it's at the early stages, especially the economy, where you have to be so particular with every change and everything you include and everything you get rid of. One little change can change the economy in such a massive way. At the same time, like, this is maybe a conversation. Like, I probably can't give you a good answer. I'm going to be completely honest, but my gut reaction is also telling me, like, should someone be able to earn more than an air bike over like 2 months? I don't know. It depends on the fleet size and all that, but like, how fast should someone earn something? Like, that's a conversation that I think is valuable, but I don't think it's a conversation that I can necessarily have. What I can assure you of is I screenshotted your comment, and I could send it over to people who can actually comment on it. Maybe Michael wants to comment on something like that, but if not, definitely I will send it to the appropriate people. But Santi, maybe you have some
Yeah, no,
thoughts as well.
I think you got it right saying that it's a byproduct of being early, and it's not only early product wise, but it's also early economy wise at the same time. I don't know how long it's been since we released Starbase, but I think it's 3 months more or less. And we have, even if it's not super balanced right now, we have a working economy, which is pretty insane if you stop and think about that. It's only 3 months. Usually economies in decades to develop, but you can get in right now depending on, of course, the fleet that you have. It's the outcome that you will have at the same time. But the fact that we have a working economy needs a lot of polishing, needs more updates, and all that. But we have the basis of something that is sustainable, or that will be sustainable long term, and that to me is absolutely mind blowing that we have it right now. And we have Chris and the econ team, Michael, people who know about the economy, not like me and Dom, looking into that every single day, guys, and looking to make improvements and paying attention to the pain points and everything. So honestly, yeah, I can totally understand the feedback that group said, and I think it's not only the case for SLY, but it's probably the case for a lot of the guilds where they had members with probably not as many assets, or they can't get as profitable as others, or they can't even get profitable, and they have faced that with going into like idle mode or just waiting until there's something more entertaining or more engaging, or the economy is more balanced and they can see the benefits earlier, with less money in, let's say. But honestly, we will get there. I am insanely confident that we are going to get there to that point where the small player can grow and we have an economy that it's basically available to everyone. But it's been only a couple months since we had this out, and I think we already matured a lot in terms of economy and project since we got Starbase out. So.
Another thing, just one more note I wanna add to this is, so I've gotten a couple messages from guilds specifically. Like I said, being completely open and honest with you guys. I've gotten messages from some guilds saying, yeah, we're losing people because the economy, it's hard for them to make a return. It's hard for this size player to make a return. I just want to reiterate that this is 1,000,000,000% a journey. We are definitely not at our final destination. We have a lot of updates to make. And we're going to lose people along the way. The people who get it. I've seen people in this chat for honestly the last like 3 years. You guys are the people who really get it. We're always going to get new people, and new people that get the vision, that understand that this is early. But then we're also going to get those people who come in who say, I want to make a return. They can't make that return, so they leave. Now that I think if someone spends the time to learn a strategy, I think they can earn. But for the people who just kind of want to get in, make something, and kind of get out, I can understand where the frustration from them comes from. We're just not at a point to keep those people just yet, you know? Like, we're going to lose people along the way while we're at these early stages. It just is what it is. I know that sucks. That probably doesn't, feel good to hear, but it just is the reality of the situation. Like I said, I'm just being honest. When we get to a point where the game is what we're talking about, when we have all these features that we're talking about, when the game gets to a point, I genuinely, and I tell people in my family, my friends, I tell everyone who will listen, I genuinely think Star Atlas will be the best game of all time. I really do believe that. I think we can change the world. Um, is that just completely crazy? Maybe. Make your own decision, but this is just my own personal opinion. I think at a certain point, we'll get the masses, we'll get the people playing our game. Right now, we're just not there just yet. We're not there yet. We're not there to retain all these people. It's a journey. We're gonna lose people, and that's okay. That's okay. We want people who are here with us on this long journey anyway. This is a journey. I will keep saying that until I'm blue in the face. So I just wanted to make that comment. I know that was long-winded. Apologies for anyone sleeping, but
That was
All
great,
right,
man.
I'm going to offer one more response here just because I do hold the economy near and dear to my heart. I really don't want to hijack your guys' brew. So I'm going to make one final comment on
please
this
do.
one. Yeah, just to provide some assurances that we do recognize where the deficiencies are, specifically with respect to users with smaller asset bases within the game, and that's even just such a subjective term because if you look at any traditional game, somebody that's holding like $500 or $1,000 worth of game assets, that's arguably could be a whale in some cases, depending on the game that they're playing. So we just, I think everyone here is very well aware that we have an exponential curve on asset values within Star Atlas, and we have some megalodons, massive whales in Star Atlas. And so that does create challenges with respect to creating balance across the largest asset base holders and the smallest asset base holders. In particular, that's true because we don't have many of the mechanics, the restrictions, the constraints that are intended to be deployed through future gameplay releases. So this is very much a temporary issue. Now, I somewhat regret pushing for the release of Starbased when we did, only because we've seen kind of the negative consequences of doing that when we had a system that people did seem to enjoy through RFR crafting. Now, Chris has noted this previously, but we are also doubly impacted by the fact that Sol is going up in price, which increases transaction fees. Atlas, as we all know, has been selling off and going down in price. So the value of your earnings is going down, and then couple that or compound that with the fact that we did intentionally introduce restrictions on the daily emissions of Atlas through Starbased, whereas previously it was unlimited, only to the extent it only gated or throttled really by SDU production. That was our core mechanism for that. But on average, we had higher emissions of Atlas every day through the RFR crafting system than we do have in Starbased right now. So there's a lot of things that are impacting people negatively in terms of their ability to earn. But more importantly, is we don't have game systems online that make it more competitive. And I could point to something like Council Rank, where is a progression system in place that all players have to go through in order to bring in larger and larger values of assets into the game. And that is intended to take some extended period of time for everyone to do that. Well, right now you have a player that might have $50 to $100 worth of assets trying to compete against someone with $2 or $3 million worth of assets. That's not the intention. However, the intention was to provide you all with early access, um, um, uh, kind of pre-leveling of your account, given you hold, there are people that hold a substantial amount of assets. We didn't have the council rank system defined in advance, and it would actually be pretty unfair, disadvantageous for us to come out after the fact and say, you're not allowed to use all of your assets now. You have to go through this progression system. Not to mention that would just encourage people to use multiple accounts to take advantage of more of their assets. And that's really not the direction we want to go. So what we're trying to get to is the point of singularity where the game systems are online. There is a sufficient level of balance. We've taken care of the OGs. We've made sure nobody feels disadvantaged. And couple that with things like fleet rental systems or what is effectively a financing option where you can get an asset for free, pay that off over time. Now we immediately give people the ability to scale fleets and be more competitive in the game. And technically, that's on a loan, but they can still play without the significant upfront cost of capital in order to do that. So there's a lot of things that we're thinking about here, and a lot of ways that we will resolve the issues that you're all experiencing. It's just that they aren't immediate solutions. The big solution is let's keep building the game and get the new mechanics in because it is designed to resolve the problems that you guys are experiencing right now. And then a final point just on, say, yield, which again is a bit of a sensitive subject to even discuss. But our model has never been built on hyperinflationary yield or emission mechanics. And so if you're flying with an air bike or you're using an air bike, at best, you should be able to produce another air bike in 1 year. That's just the nature of the game and the way that the economics need to be structured to ensure that um, there is a reasonable rate of inflation, even for the people that have the largest asset base in the game. Otherwise, we introduce hyperinflationary economic structure that just ultimately leads to the collapse of the game. You can't treat earnings and fleet progression and fleet expansion the same way you would any traditional Web 2 game where it's not an open economy that's not exposed to real world values. We just have to operate differently. So, the reality is if you own more, you will be able to produce more. It needs to be a reasonable and attractive rate of income, but it's going to scale linearly to the amount of assets that you hold. And the one way we can resolve that issue is make assets more accessible to a wider audience, essentially for free on loan. And that would apply to everyone, but coupled with the council rank system, it's going to lead, in my opinion, to a more fair distribution of assets to not only our existing players, but also to new players.
Yeah, I
What's that,
think
Swag?
that explains a lot of the questions that were coming in from the Sage side, and I totally agree. I mean, the only way to fix quote unquote all this is going to be just shipping more product, and that's what we are focused on. So yeah, there's going to be more modules that are probably more tailored towards small ship holders, and yeah, just making all that interact and have something for everyone to do. It's going to take time, but we will get there. So yeah, appreciate you joining, Michael. And you're not hijacking. We love to have you here.
Yeah, I'm sure people love hearing from you too.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, guys. If anyone is out in Nashville, feel free to drop me a message. I'm going to be just wandering around for the Bitcoin conference. So thanks, guys. I'm gonna dip out, listen in here, but I'll let you take it away for the rest here.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Actually, perfect because we need to close right now. I think we're almost 10 minutes over the hour. Again, appreciate you joining, Michael. And I think it was a great brew. I don't know what you think, Dom, but it's good to have again like more conversations like this. Sometimes we do it in the amphitheater, sometimes we do it here in the Atlas Brew Lounge. But I think conversations like this are super valuable.
Yeah, this was amazing, guys. I genuinely appreciate everyone giving their feedback. At the end of the day, we all want one thing. I'm sure everyone's already heard this already, but we all want Star Atlas to succeed at the end of the day, and we're all doing what we deem as the correct way of getting to that point. So I genuinely appreciate everyone coming out and just talking with us. We did our best from the Star Atlas team to just be honest and upfront with you guys on everything that we can possibly be. And I hope you guys appreciate that. We can do this again. We can figure out a cadence where we can do this. But yeah, I agree. This was super valuable. I learned some things, got some feedback on things. I noted down everything you guys said, so appreciate that as well. give that to the appropriate parties. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say, but I think that's it, man. No, I'm not. I'm gonna stop yapping. I have a tendency to yap, so I'm gonna stop. Thanks, guys.
No, I
I,
think
I do have
that
one.
was great. Yeah.
I do have one more thing. I'm just going to mic drop and leave legitimately on, but it's the next mechanics in Sage slash Fleet Command. There is an intention to have non-scalable RNG high reward economic loops in there, which is to say that just because you have a very large fleet doesn't mean that the rewards would scale to that very large fleet, which means that if you have the smallest fleets, it could be a more attractive gameplay loop for you than participating in the LP system, which is likely to still or continue to be the most attractive for the larger players. So um, that's all I'm teasing, but RNG essentially in game with potential for high rewards, a possibility for high rewards.
Yeah, I
Nice.
think RNG is good for the small player for sure.
Yeah,
100% without
for
a doubt.
sure.
My unexperienced econ brain says RNG here.
uh, yeah. Um, so yeah, guys, this goes to what we were saying. Like we have people paying attention to the economy, and we're going to get there. We're going to get to that balance. We're going to get to that addictive game. And as Dominic was pointing out, like get there all together. And yeah, we all just want Stratless to succeed, and that's what generates the passion, what generates the very strong opinions, and I think it's good to have these conversations every now and then. And as always, we are always out there in the chat every day. So if there's anything you guys need or you want to chat about, we can get this brews down this brews done anytime, and yeah, we can chat anytime as well. So great conversation. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you at the next brew, which is the community updates. Some people are building some cool stuff that they will be updating us on next week. So make sure to mark us interested in the event link that I just shared in the chat so you don't miss it. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Also, make sure to participate in the NADthon. If you're building anything on top of Star Atlas, this is your chance. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Ciao, ciao, guys. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Ciao.